Come here. Good morning, beloveds. All right. Oh, nope. I want this one. It is, I believe, June 8th. Yes, it is June 8th. Our title is Suffering Isn't Necessary. The first quote is, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." And that is Revelations 21:4. And then from the Science of Mind, the worry, fear, anger, jealousy, and other emotional conditions are mental in their nature. So that's the Science of Mind text, page 144. My wife and I were asleep when a powerful thunderstorm broke over our house and a smoke alarm in the hallway began to shriek. There was no fire, but the alarm wailed on. As it was wired into the same electrical circuit as all our upstairs light, the only option was to have it replaced, which we did, much to the relief of our cat. It reminded me of other false alarms that are difficult to shut off. Anger is such an alarm system, signaling the presence of nothing more than our own fear. It tells us that we are working at cross purposes to our own happiness, fearing the loss of something more than we enjoy the experience of having it. Just stifling anger does not remove its cause. This is done by addressing our fear with the idea that no one and no thing can thwart our good. Pain is another alarm system that can get our attention when nothing else has. When we learn to notice our mental, emotional, and physical states willingly, without the need to be alarmed by them, we move to a new level of functioning. Suffering for our insights may have been the norm, but it need not be the last word. Today, I listen to my feelings and my body. Where I sense pain, I allow the cause of it to be gently and easily revealed to me. I now release this pain, knowing it has served its purpose and is no longer necessary. And it's JJ, so I think that may be Jesse Jennings. Where's the list? Yep, that's a Jesse Jennings. Okay. And when I was in ministerial school, I took 2 classes, and they were psychology classes, and that's exactly what one of them was talking about, was how pain and fear and anger are all signals. Think about them like your check engine light. So when you're dealing with what we like to call the non-preferred emotions, they're a check engine light. And how long can we go ignoring that check engine light before we go and check the engine or damage the engine? And so that's exactly what you want to do is and that's why stifling doesn't work. Because on the Big Bang Theory, Penny's driving around and her check engine light is on, and Sheldon points it out to her, and she says, it's fine. And eventually she just puts a sticker over it until she doesn't have a car anymore. And so ideally, when these emotions crop up, in pain being one of them, or like physical pain in the body, and anger crop up, then what we want to do is kind of investigate the source. Like, what is going on here? What do I need to do? What do I need to change? And sometimes it's merely a shift in your thinking. It can be a shift in your attitude. Or sometimes you need to go out and do something. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that just make everybody angry. And so that's what we are doing is like sitting around stewing in our own juices is not doing any good for anybody. And so what we do is we sit down. Ideally, we will do treatments and we will do meditations, and they will give us the guidance to the actions that we need to take. Because inside the mind, we talk about treat and move your feet. So thinking about it and praying about it will get you only so far. But if you want to actually get to the root of it, there are actions that you need to take. So that's where you start, and then you move into the actions. And when you're dealing with physical pain, it's the same thing. I'm dealing with some physical pain. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I've made a number of changes in my life, which has made it a little bit better, but my check engine light is still on. So I have an appointment with a doctor. I made an appointment with my GP, and my GP is sending me to a specialist. And ideally, he will give me more guidance to go a little, because I'm managing. But that's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is managing. And I don't want to end up with joint damage. And so that's ideally what he will do, is help me to narrow down what's going on. So I'm not putting a sticker over my check engine light. When these things are screaming at us, we want to do something. And sometimes it's a big change and sometimes it's a little change. And where do we start? We always want to start with treatment and meditation. And then we want to move into action. So what actions are we going to take? Sometimes we need to change the way we are thinking. One of the most helpful things that I actually had was two. One is not labeling my emotions good or bad, labeling them preferred or non-preferred. And understanding that anger can be a good thing, but you gotta use it, and you gotta use it appropriately, which is where treatment and meditation can come in, because what are you really angry about? In this reading, he gave the example of fear. A lot of the times when we are afraid of losing something or someone, we get angry, which then, as he says, stifles the experience. And straight up, if you learn anything about Buddhism, that's one of the things that they will tell you, is suffering comes from attachment. All right. Now, we are humans. We are having relationships. We are attached to people. And so we are going to suffer. That's just what it is. That is, we understand. But we can choose how we suffer. And we can also, because we want to be attached. But that's just it. It's like, you're going to choose your suffering. So it isn't necessary if we catch it at the head and figure out why. Okay? I love this person. I understand that this person is, like a very dear friend of mine moved halfway across the country. And I miss this person. I do. And that is suffering. But but they are very happy where they are. And so my happiness for them being happy where they are mitigates the suffering of them not being present in my life physically. We still talk, because we have electronics and emails and, and Facebook, thank God for Facebook. So we keep up with each other. So there's a little bit of suffering, but it's an acceptable level of suffering, and I understand the root cause of it. So now my husband's suffering from me not feeling well. Well, that's why I'm going to the doctor. So he's suffering because I'm suffering. And he understands that. I understand that. To help reduce his suffering, I need to reduce mine, which means I have actions that I have to take. So suffering isn't necessary. It is the check engine light in your car. It is going to happen. When it happens, what you do about it is what makes sense. Just sitting in the pain and suffering, it isn't necessary. All right. So if you have not read Revelations, it's a kick. Please go read it. The whole book, and take it for the fever dream that it is. It is a metaphor. It is giving you information. So, And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So that's Revelations 21:4. If I would make a stab at that, it is because we have done our work and moved past what it was that was causing the suffering. We have done our work. All right. And then with the Science of Mind text, worry, fear, anger, jealousy, and other emotional conditions are mental in their nature, which means we need to check ourselves. We need to go and weed our gardens. So we get weeds that will crop up and choke out the flowers. They will choke out the beauty in our life if we don't catch them soon. And the sooner we catch them, the shallower the roots will be. When those roots are deep, they're going to take you some work. The good news is you don't have to do the work by yourself. Okay, so my wife and I were asleep when a powerful thunderstorm broke over our house and a smoke alarm in the hallway began to shriek. There was no fire, but the alarm wailed on. So the alarm was going off over nothing. Something had tripped it. As it was wired into the same electrical circuits as all the upstairs lights, so they had to have it fixed. The only option was to have it replaced, which we did, much to the relief of our cat. Yeah, cats don't like fire alarms. I know this because we have a fire alarm that we need to be able to shut off by yelling, "I'm just cooking!" And it's our oven. It's our oven. We need a new oven. So we could stop the suffering of our fire alarm going off if we would replace our oven. Have we done it yet? Nope. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. It's not because I don't have a good answer for you. Because we just haven't gotten around to it. So our cats are suffering from that. It reminded me of other false alarms that are difficult to shut off. Anger is such an alarm system, signaling the presence of nothing more than our own fear. A lot of times, that's exactly what anger is. And sometimes anger is about injustice. And in both cases, we can do something about it. We can absolutely do something about it. The question is what? All right. It tells us that we are working at cross purposes to our own happiness, fearing the loss of something more than we enjoy the experience of having it. That was one of the reasons when Tom bought my engagement ring. I was very specific. It's like, I would like this kind of band because I know how hard I am on jewelry. And I don't want the diamond to be any bigger than this. Because if it's any bigger than this, I'm going to be weird about wearing it. It's going to be hard for me to wear it. Because I'll be constantly afraid of losing it. So that's what I asked for. And he respected that and gave me what I asked for. So, and so I can enjoy, well, right now I can't wear it, but that's why I'm going to the doctor. So just stifling anger does not remove its cause. Stuffing anger never does it any good because it comes out sideways and it comes out on people that don't deserve it. You know, when we stuff our anger frequently, then we'll turn around and blow up at somebody else. And that other person's like, what is going on here? All I did was ask for a paperclip. This is done by addressing our fear with the idea that no one or no thing can thwart our good. Because our good is coming from an inexhaustible source. There's enough for everybody. And when we go to our source, nobody can get between us and our source. Pain is another alarm that can get our attention when nothing else has. And that is exactly the problem. Pain is that signal that says, whatever you're doing, you hear the old joke. Well, doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that. Okay. See, it's not always that simple, but that's exactly what it is. Okay. Well, if it hurts when you do this, one, why are you doing it? And two, is there another way that you can do? Is there something else that you can do to get what the result you want without it hurting? And I'm talking both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because too often We will do things that hurt emotionally because we're trying to meet a need where there generally is a way to meet that need that doesn't hurt. At which point we go back to the meditation, the treatment, and escalating into working with somebody if that is not, if doing it by yourself is not helping. And action steps. When we do ministerial reports, they say, okay, well, what do you need to improve? And what are your action steps? What are your actions? They want to know. And I have the same rule. It's like, okay, you can complain, you can vent to me if you are actively working on the situation. If you're not working on the situation and just complaining to complain, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to listen to somebody complain unless they are actively working on the situation. Because it's not doing them or me any good. I'm not going to take your emotional dump if you are not working on the situation. When we learn to notice our mental, emotional, and physical states willingly, it's about paying attention to our mind, our body, and our spirit without the need to be alarmed by them. We move to a new level of functioning. Suffering is for our insights may have been the norm, but it need not be the last word. If we take action at the first sign of anger, at the first sign of fear, at the first sign of pain, then it doesn't grow into this big, enormous thing that we can't deal with. Yes, I am managing what is going on, but I'm losing ground. I've called in the experts. So, today, I listen to my feelings and my body. When I sense pain, I allow the cause of it to be gently and easily revealed to me. I now release this pain, knowing it has served its purpose and is no longer necessary. And that is what anger is. One of the other things that I've heard about anger that's really amazing is when you are angry, it's because your ego knows how you should be treated and that you are not being treated the way you should be. Keep that in mind. Ego has a job. And so if you are angry about a situation, it is extremely possible that you are not being treated the way ego knows that you should be. Because you are a beloved child of God. You are of value, and your ego knows this. That's its job. And so, if you keep finding yourself angry around a person or people, then you're not being treated right. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? All right. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it? I don't even know what to do. But I would say the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to look at all of those alarms that we have going on, all those non-preferred physical, mental, and emotional states, and understand that they are a check engine light. And so let's go check our engines before we damage them. Okay, so that is the mission. It's called self-care. And a lot of us are not really good at it. We have to be reminded to take care of ourselves, which is exactly what the next thing is that I'm going to recommend, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. And checking your check engine light. And if you actually have a check engine light on your car, I would suggest doing that. But all of those little check engine lights that pop up in you, physical, mental, and emotional, the kindest thing that you can do for yourself is to look for the root cause and take care of yourself. So 3 deep breaths before you speak, especially when you're angry, can go a long way to keeping you from making the situation worse. That's one of the reasons why I suggest it. Actually, sitting down and enjoying something, especially something that we might term a guilty pleasure. I think it was Tom Hiddleston and I was watching. They asked him about his guilty pleasure, and he's like, "What? No." It's like, if I want to have a piece of cake, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm going to enjoy that piece of cake. So give up the idea of guilty pleasures. Don't feel guilty about your pleasures. If you're not hurting anybody and you're not hurting yourself, don't be guilty about it. Okay? Enjoy it. Be loving, be kind, be compassionate with yourself. Do the self-care. Take care of yourself. Take the nap. Take the day off. Whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. Because occasionally, or no, actually that can go a long way to taking care of that check engine light not coming on. Self-care is a huge point in not getting those alarms. Okay. I am going to move into the process of my day, so I'm going to encourage you, as I always do something to engage your mind and your body. Drink plenty of water. It is hot out there. Our feels likes are in the double digits, and it's early in June, so drink plenty of water. Go get that early morning light, early in your daylight, I should say, depending on what time you get up, and open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around us. It is about looking for the good. It is about praising the good. It is also about checking those alarms, checking those signals that are telling us that something isn't working quite right in our life and heading them off before they get worse. All right. Check us on all the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the ones that I am on. So we are there if you need us. You can also, if you want to know what's going on at the center, email info@creativelife.org. I think this weekend is a quiet weekend. But next weekend is going to be a busy one. We are going to go support the Juneteenth in the Tamina community on Saturday, and then we have Marsha's Memorial on Sunday. So if you email info@creativelife.org, that'll get you on the constant contact so you can find out all the amazing things that we are up to and doing. I think that's what I know. So get on the constant contact that way. You'll always know, even when I don't. Have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, an enchanting day, a magical day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. All right? Sometimes the only Bible people read is you. That's why it's important for us to check our alarms. All right. I am going to go take my vitamins and go to work and deal with, so take care of yourself. Know that you're loved. Know that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. So until next time.